last but definitely not least, we are going to the judges, and he is Jim Rees, and he is unfortunately he says that I have only a 14 now. No, when something is critical and people do or teams do something that is not very good, then he is showing a yellow card. I have the yellow card now, so how much minutes do I have with you? Yellow card is 3 minutes probably. Jim, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I had a good time here. And you spent a lot of time in the judging room watching videos, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
What did you see?
Oh, this year, everything changes. The fast teams give us something a little quicker, but the style of it keeps changing from year to year, and we keep evolving what we're looking at and how to look at it, because that's how the sport progresses.
Yeah. So are there any specific things or any more like general advices that we can get from you actually for the audience, where, you know, your general impressions about what teams have to look out for and what they have to respect to get some points on the scoreboard?
Well, one thing I've noticed in the past year of studying videos very closely and teaching my classes is looking for simultaneously stationary contact. We frequently see grips just coming on as another grip is coming off, and it becomes a very, very fine line. A grip is not a grip unless it's stationary, and all the grips have to be grips in order to score it. So we look really, really closely for that, and they're getting tighter these days.
And you cannot use frame by frame what teams and what even I am doing at home sometimes, you know, to find out was it really correct or not. Mm-hmm. We are not using frame by frame.
Afraid not. The rules only let us go reduced speed. At the international level, they synced up indoor and outdoor, so both events can go down to 50%. And so we adopted that here. We didn't go to 50% too often at the U.S. Nationals, but for a few teams that we needed it, and only for a few particular points. That's the nice thing about OmniScore. We can just look at one particular point if we need to, and not have to watch the whole video in 50%.
Yeah, that saves time, a lot of time, in fact, right? Will we, do you think in the bigger picture, like there are more and more, as you pointed out, more and more situations where it is about frames? Will maybe the frame by frame thing eventually, we went from 80 to 70 to 50?
It's plausible. We have to be careful to make sure that we don't go to a place where it takes forever to judge a dive.
Yeah.
I know for the tunnel meet that I judge up in New Hampshire, we use a single judge panel. Mm-hmm. And because you only have a single judge and you can't afford to have big mistakes, I instruct the judges to use frame by frame to determine start of working time for that.
Okay.
And so you can get through that process very, very quickly without having retries and retries and retries to figure out that to collate a start of working time. Mm-hmm. And then basically the instruction is get through it, figure it out, use frame by frame if you need to fix something, but move on to the next jumper, the next team quickly. It's possible, like for this stuff, to figure out how to make it work with a 3-person panel and not slow down the process. We may get there someday, but it'll take some time.
Yeah, more and better technology, who knows what's coming, but the direction is obvious in, you know, in what direction it goes. Let me ask you one question. I have been listening into Hayabusa there, and in round 10 they are so sad that they didn't get to the 29 plus level, and the round 10 was kind of a little devastating. Did you judge round 10? They're trying to find out what it actually was.
Was that the one with monopods and some opal blocks?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I did judge that one.
Okay, because they saw and agreed with one penalty, and they couldn't find the other ones. And and I'm curious too. I looked at the video too, and you know, I'm not a judge, but I had a hard time to see, you know, what.
David actually asked me about that.
Oh, he did.
We actually did have a short conversation about it, and he specifically asked about the closes of the block 5.
Okay.
And there again, it's kind of relates to the simultaneously stationary issue. as it's only 2 grips that have to get picked up, but very often it's a moving leg that's being picked up by a moving hand, and if that, it's tempting for that to just be a light tap. Many of what they built were just fine. Like you could see the stick of the grips both simultaneously, but some of them were just such a fast light tap on both sides that we couldn't be convinced that they were simultaneously together for such a short gap of time. We did talk about when a grip is moving, to be convincing to the judges that you had stationary contact, you kind of have to squeeze it just a little bit more. Even the perception of just creating the squeeze with fingers creates a perception for the judges that's more convincing. The quick taps,
right.
It's just not enough convincing evidence sometimes.
And it doesn't take much time to take a quick grip, you know, it's a split.
Right, just a squeeze of the fingers can make all the difference.
Of a second, yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Jim. One last question, and that's the most important question that I've been asking quite a few people out here. Why do you think people should, teams and competitors and everybody should go to competitions, and as many as possible?
Well, you certainly learn a lot, and like I said at the beginning, things change, and you miss a meet and you miss out what's really going on in the sport, and how teams are evolving and how the leading edge keeps shifting around a little bit. I'm glad I didn't miss this competition for all the drama we had. It was very, very exciting. But for new teams, certainly young teams, nationals is the best way to learn the most for your money.
That's the answer. All right, thank you very much, Jim. And they also get good judges at the meet, so that's very helpful to get that feedback. Okay, thanks.